Here's a match that spans both ends of the Super League table. Wakefield are just a point clear of Huddersfield at the bottom, while Hull have designs on the top three. It's a game of huge significance then at Bellevue this bank holiday lunchtime. First, let's check the results in round 25 and the highlights. Halifax beating Salford for a third time this year. London losing to Huddersfield for the first time in Super League. And Warrington have continued their great home record over the top sides. So to the table then, and this is a must-win for Wakefield. But they do play Huddersfield here in a fortnight's time. At the top, status quo for Bradford and Wigan. Hull level on points with the Saints, but they do have this game in hand. Leeds are now safely in the five, thanks to London's demise yesterday. But how will the top five eventually finish up? All will be answered over the next couple of weeks. Let's take a check on the Hull side now. Prescott at fullback, Rayner, Campbell, Horn and Poucher. Paul Cook is alongside Tony Smith, the scrum half. And the forwards, Broadbent, King and Logan, Maiden, Grimaldi, the skipper, and the immaculate Jason Smith. And on the bench, Jackson, big boost, Lee Jackson returning, Felsh, Craven and young Kirk Yeeman, and the coach is Sean McRae. The home side with so much to prove to themselves and to their supporters, dragged into the relegation zone, of course, just a point clear of Huddersfield. Dorahy, Law, Brooker, Ellis, Sovatabua, Pearson and Davis, they have the talent here to get out of trouble. And the forwards, O'Neill, David March, Mason, Field, Poaching, the skipper, and Hudson. And the substitutes, Jackson, Watine, Rorter and Westwood. The coach is John Harbin. It's a long time since John Harbin was named Coach of the Month in April, but he did a fine job early on. And just recently they went 12 games straight and they lost them all, but significantly no one was calling for the head of John Harbin. Such is his esteem in this part of the world. Match referee Robert Connolly. Glorious bank holiday afternoon. We're about to get underway. Steve-O, where's your money on?
Well, I suppose you'd have to go with Hull because of their position in the table, but you mentioned the fact that Huddersfield just 1 point behind the Wakefield side, and that is incentive enough for the Wildcats to be just that, wild and hard tonight, or today, should I say.
Yes, bring the clock forward, Steve-O, it's lunchtime, and it's Wakefield who are having first use of the football. Gareth Ellis plays the football. And good defence from Hull early on here. There was nowhere at all for Neil Law to go there, and he was injured in that tackle. He lost the ball, and he's clutching his shoulder, and this is a big blow for Hull in the opening minute, for Wakefield in the opening minute.
Well, it was King and Jason Smith that really put the crunch tackle on him. His legs sort of bent backwards, and then he didn't really have much protection. And as Eddie has just mentioned, it appears to be a shoulder problem. King over the top and then assisted by Smith. No chance of getting the arm clear so you can protect yourself. It was just a real crunch time right on that shoulder.
Well, 26-year-old Neil Law in some trouble here, and they would not want to lose him early. He's scored a try in each of his last two matches. 11 tries in all games so far, 9 in the Super League. And Bill has some news apparently. Bill Arthur's on the touchline and is very close to this situation.
And the signal has gone out already, Eddie, from the physio team on the pitch that Neil Law cannot continue. Just that little shake of the head and a look to the bench, and Neil Law is led off the pitch. What a dreadful start for the Wildcats.
It is indeed, and Ben Westwood, the young man who comes on for him. Well, meanwhile, the match continues, and this now is Hull in possession and with a glorious opportunity to post points early here. Broadbent.
Well, that's a bitter blow because Neil Law was taking that ball up with a lot of aggression.
Talking of aggression, that's a great drive forward from Scott Logan. Hull are within 12 metres of the line with Tony Smith. It comes back on the inside to David Maiden. He gets away from two. He can't get away from the next man in, and that was Julian O'Neill.
Nice work there, just a little twist and turn, brought the ball back on the inside.
And this is Paul Cook now for Hull.
Good tackle by Pearson, had to be as well.
Jason Smith will dab the kick over the top. It's collected by Paul King. He tries to keep the movement going, and Brooker picks up and tidies up for the Wakefield Wildcats.
Well, it was on the last chip over the top there. King did well try to get it away. When it's on the final tackle, you've got to take the odds, try to keep it alive. Ended up in the arms of Justin Brooker.
So Wakefield now trying to work the ball away again, and here comes Julian O'Neill. And Sean McRae, the Hull coach, watching on. Last time we were here, that was a forward pass, was it? No, it's a penalty against Hull. And Tony Smith being pointed at by referee Robert Connolly. The last time we were here to watch this match, it's the second time we've seen this fixture at Bellevue. The Wakefield Wildcats gave a gutsy display before losing by 7 points.
Well, there's never any doubt that he made no attempt to get back to 10. In that particular fixture, Eddie's remembered it well. Wakefield got off to a real flyer, and they stunned this whole side.
Keith Mason for Wakefield. Good ball back on the inside. A great run here from Jamie Field, and Hull having to call all hands to the pumps in defence. Marches the dummy half. Brad Davis looks for the runners out wide. Pearson, they have a man on the overlap. They must be in here, Wakefield early, and they are. And it's Gareth Ellis. And just as they did when last we were here, Wakefield off to the best possible start against Hull. Hull were caught short on numbers down their right side defence, and Gareth Ellis, well, there were about 3 or 4 others on his outside who could easily have got over for the try, but Ellis with his 3rd touchdown of the year.
Simple basic rugby league football, getting the ball out wide, getting the angle, and Ellis coming back. They went far too high. He's a tall fella. He's Gareth Ellis, the centre. Looping pass from March, and this is an excellent try. No one went low for the legs. You pay the price when you do that. And it all came about from Hull being caught offside, allowing Wakefield the possession, and the first real chance they've accepted with glee.
So Gareth Ellis and his coach John Harbin, and since we last saw him, he's grown a little beard, little nan I think they're called, aren't they? And this is Martin Pearson to try and add the extras. Welsh international, 3 goals and a drop goal in the 23-20 victory over Salford last week. And Pearson, quality kicker. This is within range, and he's just drifted it the wrong side of the posts. But Wakefield are ahead by 4 points to 0, courtesy of the Gareth Ellis try.
Look at the advantage of 2 dummy runners. Pearson getting the ball way out back on the angle, and good step from Ellis, but you can see clearly that they went far too high on the big centre. Jason Smith being caught there, nothing they could do about it. Well taken. Well, a bad start, losing Neil Law with an injury on the first few seconds, but that'll lift their spirits.
Word is it's actually a slight concussion for Neil Law, even though he appeared to be clutching his shoulder. This is Willie Poaching now for the Wakefield Wildcats. Samoan captain in the World Cup of 2000. And that's good defence from Tony Grimaldi on Justin Brooker, and Brooker didn't like it. Just had a little swipe at Grimaldi as he ran away after making the tackle. But Wakefield again with their tails up, and Brad Davis with a deep kick over the top, and he's gone for the 40-20, and that's why Gareth Rayner has funneled back, and the ball eventually running touch in goal.
Well, great tactics there. Good kicker, Brad Davis, took full advantage of it, kicked early in the tackle count, and nearly caught Hull out there yet again. Well, I said that this Hull side couldn't take Wakefield lightly. It's going to be an uphill battle for them now.
It's with Broadbent here, and he almost got away from Jamie Field, but with a little bit of help from Julian O'Neill, he's hauled down. And now then, good run. Terrific run from Paul King, and he's got support on his inside, and this is Scott Logan, and Scott Logan has got the pace, and Scott Logan equalises for Hull. Just what they wanted. Logan playing his 11th consecutive appearance since arriving from the Sydney Roosters, and his 2nd try of the campaign since he came from the other side of the world. That's much better for Sean McRae, but the break was from Paul King, and Logan was the man on hand to finish the move off.
A little bit lax in the first and second marker. Julian O'Neill drifted out to the left and allowed the hooker King to make the break. Great support though by Scott Logan, the prop forward. The hooker march couldn't do anything about it. And the prop forward, well, he showed amazing speed there, but great work from King, the hooker.
Steve Prescott to add the extras from bang in front, and Prescott doesn't miss those. One of the formful backs of Super League 6. And Hull, well, they went 4-0 down early, and now it's 6-4 to them. But Scott Logan, the Scottish international, but the try laid on a plate by Paul King, one of the boom youngsters, the rookies in Super League 6.
Well, there you can see O'Neill just moving out. It left an enormous gap, and King took full advantage of that. That is super work. Two big fellas combining. Great try.
Well, Wakefield halted a 12-game losing sequence last Sunday when they beat Salford 23-20. It was a better win, though, than that scoreline would suggest. And the significant thing about John Harbin, their coach, nobody called for John Harbin's head during that losing run. This is a head-to-head between the two, and Hull with overwhelming superiority, both up at the Boulevard and here at Wakefield. And they have a penalty now for offside.
Far too eager to get into the fray there. And Robert Connolly, and about 6 or 7 to select from. Either way, it's a penalty going towards the Hull side. Well, in hot conditions, and the ground looks very hard indeed. Players have a tendency to not go low, go a little bit high, and we've seen already quite a few players going too high. That's the reason why Ellis was allowed to score his first try.
You say the pitch looks in fine fettle. It is pretty solid underfoot, though, and here's Paul King again. And he tried to play that ball quickly.
He's going to give the penalty the other way around, claiming that King has got to get to his feet.
On the floor and you go forward looking for the penalty, get out of it.
Well, I think he was interfered from actually even getting up from the ground there. He was definitely pushed by the hooker, David March.
Well, there he is, Paul King, and his 40th start, and he has signed a new 4-year deal to keep him at Hull.
Well, I can't believe that. A bit pedantic there from Robert Connolly. I mean, if the man is being pushed to the ground, how can he get to his feet and then place it? He's being penalised for it.
Here come Wakefield again, though, and this is Ryan Hudson. He feeds the ball to Justin Brooker, and Richard Horne got to him, but Hudson was there in support, and eventually he's pulled down by Tony Smith. Somatabua, infield it goes to Davis. From Davis on it goes to Jamie Field. That's good, solid defence, though, from Hull up the middle. March gets it away to Davis again. The kick over the top, the invitation to chase, but Prescott saw the danger and tied it up well.
He's in fine form as a whole fullback, Prescott. Went over to see him play against London last Sunday. He had an outstanding game, man of the match. And he read this perfectly, realising that Davis was going to use a chip kick over.
Just harking back to that head-to-head that we saw, the last win for Wakefield over Hull, by the way, was a 34-4 victory here in the lower division in the final winter season. It was in December 1995, actually.
That's a great kick.
It's a super kick, because Dorahay right back by his own post before he picks it up, and the chase isn't bad either. Good tackle also there from Paul Cook. Here goes Somatabua, he switch swings. Big Fijian.
Good to see the winger coming and helping out there. Real messy around the play of the ball. The official will have to keep an eye out for that.
Hull swarming around the ball carrier in defence, and it was Gareth Ellis, the try scorer. Little dab through by Davis. Gareth Rayner with his back to the on-rushing Brooker. Tried to get out of trouble, but Davis following up with Brooker. Enthusiastic chase.
Great kick and chase there. Well pleased the coach, John Harbin, who once again the tactics is to kick early in the tackle count, keep turning this big Hull side around. And in these hot conditions, it's not a bad ploy.
Well, another half here for 3. Ball and wait.
David Maiden played that ball, and via Scott Logan, it was handed out wide. And Jason Smith entangles himself from the tacklers. And here come Hull again. But that's a good tackle by Brooker. It was lost forward by Richard Horn.
Good impact tackle there from the centre. And that's the reason why Horn couldn't concede.
You're head and ball, Wakefield.
Perhaps may have got a fingertip to it. But an up and down season for the youngster, Richard Horn.
Great tackle by Brooker, though.
I'm not so sure that Richard Horn enjoys playing in the centres. A great talent, that's for sure.
Here's Martin Pearson. Just dropped the shoulder, got underneath Paul Cook. Fortunately, the reinforcements were there in the shape of Jason Smith. And Jason Smith again with that tackle on Willie Poaching. Helped out by Scott Logan. It's Jamie Field here for Wakefield.
Just get the impression that Hull's defence hanging back a bit, they're hesitating. And that means that Wakefield are dictating this attack.
Hodgson on the charge then. Wakefield now within 8 metres. It's with Brad Davis. Jamie Field is outside and the little dab was through for Brooker, but Rayner got a hand to it. Sovatabua was hunting as well. And Gareth Rayner got a hand to it and just flapped it over the dead ball line.
Well weighted there, Brad Davis. Wonderful field kicker. He did the right thing though, Rayner. He's gone back on the angle. John Harbin, well, he'll be pleased with the start when Ellis went over. Not too impressed with the way that the prop forward Julian O'Neill allowed King the hooker to make the break that provided the pass for Logan for Hull to get back. But 2 points adrift. He knows they're still well and truly in this game.
Yes, John Harbin, born in Swillington in Yorkshire, the Queenslander though, coach of the month in April. Born in England, brought up in Australia, and he really has got a gutsy team under his control here. They will not be giving this fight up, and why should they? Hudson, lovely ball out the back door to Davis. Davis then hands it on, and that was Mason, and he flicked the ball back. Field picks up the pieces, but they've lost ground, and they're now inside their own half with Sovatabua, and the Fijian international will have a go, and he offloads to Field, and this is good stuff from Wakefield. They're keeping the ball alive, albeit losing ground in the process.
Well, they do well to scramble back and to assist the man with the football.
Davis again with the kick early in the tackle count. Over the top, Prescott collected on his own line. Good chase again, enthusiastic. They're fighting for their Super League lives, the Wakefield Wildcats. Widnes are waiting in the wings. It's a question of whether it's Wakefield or Huddersfield that make the big drop into the Northern Port Premiership next year. And Huddersfield, with a magnificent win in London yesterday, have done their chances no harm at all. And they have to come to Bellevue in a fortnight's time. What a game that promises to be, full of tension.
Well, in these hot conditions, it will take its toll, and I think that's the reason why John Harbin has elected and told Brad Davis, ensure that we kick as many times as possible. Hull having to trot back. They've done that about 5 times already.
Dane Dorahy had moved across. He saw the danger coming then, and he sets off on a run. But impressive this year has Dorahy. He's played 15 of the last 16 and got a great try against Salford last week.
Good positional player as well. He read that, anticipated the kick way over on the right-hand side.
Julian O'Neill, who won Challenge Cups and Championships with St Helens under Sean McRae, now battling away for Wakefield. March took a second dive then after a challenge from Paul King. Davis to Hudson, good hands on to Brooker. He came back on the inside, right into Horn, and with Smith is dragged to the ground. Sovatabua, and the kick again is from Davis over the top. Just turning Hull around.
Well, it's a bit like a toothache, isn't it? Just keeps nagging away. That's what Brad Davis is doing. He's inflicting the pain to this Hull side, and obviously Wakefield feel that Hull can come up with many mistakes.
Well, interesting enough, Brad Davis was in that side I mentioned earlier that beat Hull in that 34-4 win here in December 1995. He's since spent 4 years at Castleford, and now in his second spell here at Bellevue. Well, that's a real mess at the scrum. The players are supposed to bind until the ball came out.
Well, to be fair, the Hull are one of the sides that do that regular. Hoping, of course, that the official will get the opposition offside.
Sean McRae glimpse of him there. He's the only ever-present coach in Super League. This is the 150th weekly round he has taken charge of. 3 clubs, and Grimaldi. He's got support from Prescott, and Prescott just ankle tap. Tony Smith was hunting.
Beautiful work, especially from Jason Smith, who started it all off. Great support work, Grimaldi taking it through. But the skills of Jason Smith on show there.
Craig Poucher, Paul King dummy half, Broadbent, back to King. He's seen a little gap as King. He's gone for it well, and he's so close, so close. In fact, the ball is lost.
He's knocked it on. Well, what a season this guy's having.
And it all began here, you know, Steve-O, in that match I referred to earlier.
You see that he lost the ball, just lost control of it. But what an outstanding season. Paul King, in my book, the find of Super League this year.
22 years of age, 2 tries here in that earlier meeting between these two that we saw on Sky Sports. And since then he's made it into the England side, and he's in the Great Britain squad for the Ashes series. He's had a fabulous season. Somatabua now. And coaching the Wakefield captain.
2, hands out, hands out. Hold on. Good tackling.
O'Neill now for Wakefield again.
Wakefield quite content just to use the big forwards, and yet again
A 40-20 attempt here by Pearson. That stands and bounces really high, and Rayner can now run this ball back. Running flat, O'Neill gets to him though. Good chase from Julian O'Neill. Helped out also by Ellis.
great work for a big forward like that. And yet again this nagging feeling of kicking into the corner. Gareth Rayner got through a heck of a lot of work along with the fullback Steve Prescott already. That's great defence.
Brooker with the tackle on David Maiden. Here is Paul Broadbent now.
All just been a little bit cautious trying to get back into the game. 40-20 attempt.
Not quite got the angle. So they will run the ball back at them. Wakefield. He's lost that.
It certainly bobbled around.
It looked like Ben Westwood lost that.
And the touch judges, I must give Robert Connolly the benefit of the doubt. He had a good look at both his touch judges. I thought he lost it too.
Well, nobody gave the nod to referee Robert Connolly. And here now is Jamie Field again. They're inching over the halfway line. They're in Hull territory now with Brooker.
Swinging arm there from Scott Logan.
Last tackle here for the Wakefield Wildcats.
Good job that Brooker just ducked under it.
And another little dink over the top from Davis. He's gaining about 6, 7, 8 more metres.
Well, this is a Westwood incident. Oh, definitely lost control. Completely lost it. And again, the kick into the corner. Well, I don't know whether Davis has buried a bone down there somewhere.
Yes, he's been
attracted
consistent.
to it.
He has.
Not even in, Turner. Not even in second row. Heads in. Stay outside.
It's with Gareth Rayner again. But the defence had moved up quickly.
And again, we saw that little ploy that Hull do. They loose forward. Jason Smith just keeps it cool, calm underneath his feet in the hope, yet again, that the official gives a penalty. I don't think I've seen anybody penalised for that this year.
It's Hull's 9th appearance in front of our cameras this year. They've won only twice. They've lost 5 and drawn 1 against the Bradford Bulls. Sean McRae is not the most camera shy, but his team have been this year. But this is good hands. And here is Richard Horn, and Horn has broken the line. He's got Tony Smith inside him. Brooker got a shot on him, but he still managed to get the ball down. For a moment, it looked like Hull had blown the opportunity. But Tony Smith, having taken a high shot from Justin Brooker, and the referee now having a little word with the Wakefield man, he managed to get back up off his knees and plant the ball over the line, did Tony Smith.
Very slow yet again. Wakefield in and around the play the ball area. You can see that one was on the deck. King took full advantage. Smith took full advantage. This pass from Maiden. The best attempt at tackle there by Savatabua. And he did the right thing, I suppose, in many ways. I'm sure that Horn would have made it to the line. And Smith with the offload, and as soon as Horn made the break, the best hit there from Savatabua. And I think Smith was a bit surprised. Good work from Brooker, though, and he went high. With Smith alert as ever.
Tony Smith missed England against Wales, but he got a try for Yorkshire against Lancashire. A couple of tries last week against London, and of course grand finalist last year with Wigan at Old Trafford. Steve Prescott, many Hull fans have made the relatively short journey for them to Wakefield to watch this match. Good job that they have too, because John Harbin's supporters, not terribly evident in number. They're all Hull fans behind Steve Prescott. And Prescott lining up his second conversion attempt. This for a 12-4 lead. Kicking well is Steve Prescott. 12-4 it is. Logan and Smith the tries, Prescott with the goals.
It's becoming a problem for John Harbin. You see that both first and second markers went to the left, went the right way. Smith took advantage to go the opposite. Neat bit of step there from Richard Horn. Brooker pretty high, but Smith has been around too long for anyone to prevent a four-pointer there.
15 tries now for Tony Smith. He is Hull's leading Super League try scorer. A little high from Julian O'Neill. And the referee not impressed with any shenanigans around the play of the ball area. This is Tony Grimaldi now, 27th consecutive appearance for Hull, captain of the club. Smith gets the ball away to King, and that's good, strong, solid defence. Mason and Field.
That was a bit high, and the official has seen it.
Julian O'Neill, that's counted that the second high shot in 2 tackles. And Robert Connolly saying that Scott Logan's only 6'3", and that's how high the tackle was.
So if it was 4'2",
well, he'd have missed him.
You wouldn't classify it as a high tackle then, eh?
No, he'd have missed him. Smith on to Smith, Tony to Jason, and then he helps it further wide, and that's Luke Felsh who's come on for Hull. Jason Smith controlling the ruck area. Another high shot from O'Neill, and he's got him again. Well, that's 2 in quick succession.
There's too many high tackles, there's too much.
To be fair, the swinging arm was more of a grab. Either way, it's illegal.
Exactly, that's why the high tackle, the 6 foot so they should be down here in the week, Carl.
he's got his tape measured out today as Robert Connolly. He said that something about they're all 6 foot tall, though the tackle should be a lot lower.
Well, he's not all that high himself, is he, Robert Connolly? And
6'4", so he must be high.
He's on again. He's on about it again.
He's an angry little man today, isn't he? Our Bobby Connolly.
Well, he's given them an extra inch now. He says the 6'4".
How tall are you, by the way? It always intrigues me. Quite a lot of people, they say, how tall is Eddie? 6'1", is it?
6'2", actually.
6'2".
There's the referee.
He must have short legs.
Referee amongst the players, just checking their height. Steve Prescott checking his angle. He's pushed that wide. Much more. He's not got it dead. So Savatabua to run the ball back for Wakefield.
Well, it was a big ask. It was a long way out, especially when you take into consideration the angle and how close he was to the touchline then. And obviously Sean McRae feeling that those 2 points could be vital.
Well, they could, because
for obvious reasons.
Wakefield have held Warrington to a single-point defeat here. They kept Wigan to a 6-point margin. and lost to St Helens by only 10. And of course, they will talk about it in this part of the world for a long time. They beat Bradford Bulls over Easter. So they are no one's easy beats here at Bellevue.
Well, again, the early kick and the good chase. The problem is for Wakefield is that Hull are not coming up with the mistakes. They're playing the average, the Wildcats, with a kick and chase game. But it only works if the opposition keeps coming up with errors. And Hull aren't doing that at the moment.
That's good defence, though. Swarming defence on Luke Felsh. O'Neill, Hudson and Jamie Field in there. There's no way through for Luke Felsh. There might be a way through here for David Maiden. He hands it on to Jason Smith. Then it goes wide to King and further wide again. Oh, and another high shot. That's Martin Pearson this time.
He's got to do something about this, otherwise...
Well, Scott Logan didn't like it.
They'll lose control. The players will say, well, look, if the official isn't going to take anything, if he's not going to do anything out there, then we will start taking matters into our own hands.
Well, that's 3 or 4, I make that in quick succession.
Now, he's given them a warning. He's spoken to the skipper, and well, that's nothing short of malicious.
How many more times you have to talk to, right? You come over the top,
so
right?
The target and whack.
We've got to put a report.
3 penalties in 4 minutes, and this one's going on report.
We're going to have a look at that one. I think he came off the shoulder on the neck. I think so.
Well, that's probably the only thing that saved him, is that the official felt that it hit the shoulder, then went into the face. That's the reason why he's put in on report.
Good on report, mate. On my blind side, I know where it ended up. I'm not sure quite sure whether it came off the shoulder or not. All right?
It's on report.
Martin, look at your technique.
3 penalties, as I say, in 4 minutes against Wakefield.
And I had to laugh there that Tony Grimaldi, the Hull skipper, was straight into the face. A lot of people perhaps will suggest maybe the official is taking the easy option, easy way out, but I had to laugh at Grimaldi. He said, well, it looked a good shot to me.
Depends if you're on the other end of it. This is Logan again. Well, he got one square in the face not 10-15 seconds ago, but still bravely carrying the battle forward.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
This is Grimaldi. Pearson low down with Gareth Ellis, whose try gave Wakefield that impressive start. They led 4-0 at one stage. They're 12-4 down now, and defending here as Prescott finds a hole down the left-hand side. Prescott has got Sowatabua on his back, and I think he's over.
No, he's short.
The crowd celebrated. Rayner.
He's short too.
Well, they are short. Those two are not 6'4", you're right. This is Richard Horne. It's the last tackle here. Smith driving it in. And that's the turnover. Good defence from Wakefield.
Worth the gamble. We've seen throughout the season Jason Smith to lose forward, the skills of offloading in the tackle. They went for broke there, didn't come up with the goods, but it was an excellent piece of work. The way that they used the 2 dummy runners and then Prescott coming back on the angle. This is him going very, very short indeed. It would have been a double movement had he attempted.
Good work from Sowatabua, actually. Got his body between the ball and the try line. And here's Sowatabua now from dummy half. Maiden with the challenge. Sean McRae passing down another message. As I say, the only man to be in charge of a club in all 150 weekly rounds. St Helens, then Gateshead, now Hull. And Hull confirmed as 4th at least, and aiming for 3rd spot. And maybe, depending on results over the next 3 weeks, they might go even higher than that.
Good chase there. Good work from the prop forward, Mason. Good hard tackle on the fullback. Well, they've been aggressive of the Wildcats, that's for sure.
Here's Maiden.
When they do all that hard work, that looked a bit shady high too.
That was a grab at the face as well. Oh, Campbell. Logan Campbell has put the ball down. It was a play on. This is poaching. Important tackle then from Steve Craven, just on.
Well, that's a mistake that Wakefield were looking for. That's the reason why they've been continually kicking. And the pressure has brought them the possession that they needed.
Yes, they're just a couple of metres short of the line and stacks of tackles left. And it's with Davis. And there's the kick over the top, looking for Sowatabua. Rayner is there, and he did well. Gareth Rayner did well then. Flicked the ball out. But Sovatabour was hunting. He would have been in for a try.
Beautifully weighted kick there from Davis. And it was all or nothing for Rayner. He just got the fingertips to it, but that'll be a lot of pressure to soak up yet again. Another set of 6. Rayner flying high. You could see Sovatabour was going to just swallow that up.
But they have the possession from the scrum here to Wakefield again, and it's Davis to Pearson, and on it goes to Dorahy. Dorahy straight into Paul Cook's chest. Pearson, Brooker. Jason Smith gets to him with help from Logan Campbell, whose mistake has, of course, resulted in all this pressure. Pearson back on the inside, and it was Julian O'Neill.
Lose that, Julian O'Neill.
And according to the referee, he was right on the spot. Pearson again trying to burrow his way over. There's Dorahy. Now it's with Davis. This is Ryan Hudson. Ryan Hudson looks for support, doesn't need any. Ryan Hudson gets the try and gets applause from his coach, John Harbin. Arguably the key man for Wakefield this year, Ryan Hudson. Just 21 years of age. 2 tries against Hull here in May, and he has come up with a very important touchdown here this lunchtime.
He's worked well. There's a loose forward, Ryan Hudson, and the ploy of kicking and hoping that Hull would come up with a mistake paid off on this occasion. Remember, Campbell lost the football. It gave them the possession, and the Wildcats did everything right. Good effort, running onto the football, full steam ahead. The Wildcats are back in this.
Ryan Hudson has also played hooker and second row this year, operating at loose forward today. 21 years of age. Great future. And Sean McRae with the sunglasses on the right, Tony Anderson on the left. And just a little bit of concern etched on the face of the Hull coach. So Martin Pearson now missed with his first conversion attempt after 4 minutes. Well and truly warmed up now. We're over the half-hour mark. Can Pearson kick Wakefield back right into this match? It's a great kick. No, just the wrong side of the post. Looked like it was just drawing its way over the bar. It's 12-8.
This demonstrates the advantage of utilising the foil. Watch for the loose forward running around the back of it through the dummy. And there was nothing that Richard Horne could do about that. Sheer weight and speed from this fella. Well, it was a tactic. They were utilising the kick and chase, hoping they could just harass Hull into coughing up the football. Logan Campbell certainly did that.
Yes, it's not rocket science, Steve-O, is it? But it's mighty effective.
My word. Especially in these conditions. Because the last 20 minutes of this match, it really will take its toll on all the players. It's really hot out there. Looked a bit high from Craven there too. Plenty of shots, and that's another
high.
one.
Yeah, that was high from Maiden.
Felch. It was Felch over the top, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, they're just losing the plot a little bit at Hull. 12-4 in the lead. Looked as though they were controlling the game with ease, and then, of course, the try from Hudson. And they're giving away too many penalties now.
Here comes Julian O'Neill again, Maiden to him, out the back door brilliantly to David March, and again to Brad Davis. Sovatabour's there, and Sovatabour takes some stopping. They do just stop him though. Tony Smith with an important tackle. Well, I think the tackle was complete and he rolled over, so the ball was dead. Now he is.
Yeah.
And Brooker!
He's in. We'll go to the screen on this one, but I think Brooker will be giving it. Once the tackle is completed, even though he went in the touch, he has to come back and play the game, the ball.
He's also wanted to know something about the obstruction here. It's a beautiful move forward, this.
It was great work. They can't go for the fact that it was a forward pass. Can't go to the screen for that. He was pushed in, Tony Smith, so he's allowed to play the ball, which he did.
Oh, well,
Now then, did Sower push someone?
Well, Prescott ended up on his backside.
Yeah, that was a deliberate.
It's exactly the same as Kieran Cunningham's last week.
This will be no try.
Well,
that's a shame.
It will if they're consistent.
Well, he automatically just pushes through.
Well,
Kieran Cunningham had a try disallowed.
Exactly the same as this.
You can't do that. This has got to be no try. If it's a try, well, it's an injustice. Sower plays a football and does nothing else but just bulldozes Tony Smith out of the way, and it's got to be a penalty to Hull. And N-O-T-R-Y. Well, that's a shame, because that was a wonderful build-up from the Wakefield side.
And it's the same referee, by the way, Steve-O, Robert Connolly, as was the referee that night when he called for the video referee evidence on the line between Wigan and Saints, it was, wasn't it?
That's right, but...
Saints Bradford, but
it's got to be the video referee that's going to be the call in this one. And little doubt in my mind that Tony Smith has been bulldozed out of the way. This will be N-O-T-R-Y.
Well, that's your view. What's the view of the video ref?
I'll put my house on it.
You're right. Penalty kick to the defence. You're a very brave man, because consistency is the key word. Unfortunately, video referee, they're consistent with the Wigan-Bradford match, the Saints-Bradford match.
So you're saying I'm not consistent?
There's no doubt about that.
Listen, Sower just put it in low gear and then went crunch, crank, crunch, crunch, right, and pushed Tony Smith out of the way.
No dispute about that. No dispute whatsoever, and the video referee consistently agrees.
Well, the video referee must have had a Meccano set with an engine in it. Clunk, clank, that's what they used to do. Good break!
It is, and it's from David Maiden. And Dane Doherty just waited and delayed, but there's no black and white shirts around him. It's all blue, and a good job that Gareth Ellis had the pace to get to him. That's a great break, though, and down the blind side they go.
Well, I'm surprised they took the option of the blind side. They really needed to give it plenty of air out here on the left-hand side. Well, wonderful break from David Maiden.
Craven then moved about 4 metres forward off the mark.
Oh, that was forward. Officials haven't seen it. I'll look forward for mine.
Paul King, Tony Smith, Paul Cook, off the hands, back to 6. Logan Campbell, Steve Prescott, try. Well, it could have been try at the other end. It's now try at the Wakefield end. And Steve Prescott scores it. And of course, Prescott, formerly with the Wakefield Wildcats. Well, it's such a cruel game at times, this. Wakefield celebrating 1 minute, and now they are bemoaning their luck.
Well, this is Sower just crunching Smith out of the way. Brooker's try was N-O-T-R-Y. Maiden made the break. There was always going to be numbers there. They took the gamble. It came off the fingertips. And the man who is in absolute superb form, the fullback, Steve Prescott, finishes it off with glee. They took a huge gamble, didn't they? It was Willie Pochin, the skipper, that tried to intercept that football. And they were all going to pay the price. The one line of defence was shattered.
Well, he is making them pay for him not being here this year. He was at Wakefield not too long ago, Steve Prescott. And Prescott's try, and Steve Prescott now to try and add the extras. Eight Irish caps for Steve Prescott, 2 English. But he is elected latterly to play for the Emerald Isle. 24 points against Wakefield in the victory that Hull had over the Wildcats just last month. It was 48 points to 16 at the Boulevard. Hull's best win of the year. And now Prescott to try and add the extras to his try, and he's missed it. 16-8 though. We're almost to half-time.
Well, there you see Poaching. He knew that Hull had the numbers out wide. He took the gamble. It didn't pay off. But fingertips to it, he would have been away. Because it was Prescott the full-back who was chiming up out wide, so there would have been no one at home if Poaching had taken that football. And sadly for the Wakefield side, the gamble failed.
Prescott's try. Hull have, in fact, won their last 12 against Wakefield Trinity and have lost, or rather have not lost, in any Super League meeting against them. So history very much on Hull's side. Recent history, anyway. And we're right on the stroke of half-time as Jason Smith wearily makes his way off the ground to his feet. There is the half-time siren. Tony Smith got one of the 3 Hull tries, sandwiched in between the effort from Scott Logan and Steve Prescott. Ellis giving Wakefield a great start after 4 minutes. Hudson adding another one. That's where their 8 points have come from. But Hull are 16-8 ahead at half-time. Hull 5 wins from their last 6. Toa Koilov, Craig Greenhill, Sean Ryan all coming over next year to the Boulevard. And Hull on course for their highest finish in Super League.
Saturday, only Sky Sports brings you 3 epic World Cup qualifiers. The day of reckoning. On Sky Sports 1, all the tension in the Republic of Ireland's vital encounter with the Dutch. Or on Sky Sports 3, follow the fate of the Scots in an all-or-nothing push against Croatia. Then on Sky Sports 1 and Sky Sports Extra, one of the world's biggest games. All fired up in the return leg against Germany. It's do or die for England. The heat is up in a massive day of international football. Saturday from 2 World Cup qualifiers, the Republic of Ireland, Scotland and England, Sky Sports and Sky Sports Extra.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can.
When the world is weighing on you, look around. Because I'll be standing beside you. I see, I know what's inside.
Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
Frizzy hair doing your head in? Move on. Smoothing milk from new Garnier Fructis style with fruit micro waxes. Super smooth, super sleek, long-lasting frizz control. Get hold with smoothing milk from new Garnier Fructis style.
You're 14 months old. Now that you can stand on your own 2 feet, you'd like to keep it that way.
Shall we change your nappy? No.
Relax. Now there's new Pampers Easy Up Pants. Easy to pull on and tear off with the dryness of Pampers. When you see the world through a baby's eyes, you see how to make it better. New Pampers Easy Up Pants for happy changes.
Hello and welcome. Right, contestants, fingers on buzzers. For 10 points, give me reasons why people are refused a loan. Jeff.
You want to consolidate all your existing debts, you know, credit cards, store cards, into just one manageable monthly repayment.
Consolidate your debts. OK, 10 points. Yes, Mary.
You've got a poor credit history, county court judgment or bad debts?
You mean a low credit rating?
Yes.
Well done. Colin.
You need to borrow a lot of money, £10,000, £15,000 or more.
Let's see. Yes, well done. OK, now, any more reasons? Yes, John.
If you're not in full-time employment. Self-employed, say, or retired.
Self-employed or retired, well done. Jeff again.
If you need to pay over a longer period, like 10 years or more, you know, keeping your outgoings down to a minimum.
Yes, good. Now there's one more. Pat.
You've already been refused a loan.
Refused elsewhere, that's correct. Well done. Now, for 30 bonus points and to win the game, who can give me a solution for people in these situations?
Ocean Finance?
That is the correct answer. You are our winner. Every month, Ocean Finance helps thousands of people in situations like these. What's more, there are no arrangement fees, no salesperson will call, and the loans can be used for virtually any purpose. So if you're a homeowner and you want to borrow from £3,000 to £50,000, simply call Ocean Finance now. You'll be under no obligation and you could secure the loan you need. Call Ocean Finance now on 0800 858 858. That's 0800 858 858.
Budweiser salutes you, Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
Your job is to smash great big things into itty-bitty pieces.
Totally awesome.
Some say it's easy, but never to your face. Why? Because you're the one swinging the 2-ton ball.
Watch out!
So this Bud's for you. Anyone can build a building. It takes a man with one giant ball to bring it down.
A reminder of the bank holiday action coming up for you after we've finished here at Bellevue. At 3 o'clock, there's a soccer special to keep you up to date with all the latest football scores from around the country. Also in that programme, live coverage of the conference match between Stevenage and Doncaster. And then at 7 o'clock, there's Premiership football from the Reebok Stadium as Bolton take on Liverpool. And on Sky Sports 2 from 4, there's live and interactive tennis from the US Open. Well, the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats dressing room, it, I suppose, is a question of what might have been for them, because they've scored 2 tries and had 1 disallowed by the video referee. And when that one was disallowed, they might have been back on terms, but up the other end went Hull, and Steve Prescott got over in the corner for what could be the crucial try of this match. Sean McRae, quite animated. He knows how important this match is. His men are level on points with St Helens. They will go above the champions by 2 points if they win here, and at the moment they are on course to do exactly that. 16-8 it is at half-time, 3 tries to 2, and Prescott with the 2 successful kicks. So pleasant day here at Bellevue, and very pleasant if you're one of the many Hull supporters who have made the relatively short journey down the M62 to be here and watch the Hull side. They're after 3rd spot. In fact, they could go 2nd if results go for them between now and the end of the season. But only 3 weeks after this, away from the last of the weekly rounds. And Steve-O, way Hull are going and they're running, you wouldn't bet against them making 2nd place, you know.
No, and I'm sure that Sean McRae's quite aware of that, so he'll be looking for extra points in the second half. But it won't be easy against a Wakefield side. They realise that they're just 1 point ahead of Huddersfield, so it wasn't surprising that they came out with a lot of aggression in that first half, and they were rewarded with some beautiful play by the big centre, Gareth Ellis. Pearson with the offload, and look at the step there, far too many going too high. Smith certainly did that, but you can see that the lanky centre got the Wildcats off to a great start. But O'Neill was caught there. Watch how he goes on that marker. He allowed the opening for King to run from dummy half. King did exceptionally well, and this is a prop forward, Logan. He showed amazing speed there. March, the hooker, couldn't get anywhere near him, and Hull were well and truly in control of this game. And then when Horn made the break, again it was a problem round the scrum base that allowed Smith to create the opportunity, and when Maiden offloaded to Horn, who looked as though he was on his way to the try, took the odds back on the inside of Smith. Brooker got a hit on Smith, but he's been around far too long for that. And then it was the tackle from Sovatabua that stopped Prescott, who went very, very close. Prescott in fine form, and the whole fullback just couldn't make it there in the end. Well, the kicking game that Wakefield had been utilising was hoping that Hull would come up with a mistake. They did. Logan Campbell, and it allowed Hudson to score this try. It was a cracker. And then we had the controversial no try. Watch Sovatabua. Brooker goes over. Nothing wrong with getting that down, but Sovatabua just steamrolled Smith out of the way. It was N-O-T-R-Y, and he got it right. And then the break from Maiden allowed Prescott once again to chime in from the fullback position. Willie Poaching went for the intercept. It did not come off. And what a fine season the fullback Prescott is having. And I'm sure that Sean McRae will be saying to all his charges that take every opportunity. Those points, the points advantage, could turn out to be to their advantage later on in the season.
Yes, you never know if the points difference will make the difference between second and third for Hull, and it certainly could be important for Wakefield down at the other end of the table. It's a close contest here at Bellevue. Steve Prescott is certainly one of the contenders early for the Man of the Match award, and he will win the watch if he gets the vote. Steve-O today will probably have sole voting rights on who wins the Man of the Match award. That's a worry, isn't it? But anyway, you might just have to try and read the mind of the guru, if you possibly can. If there is a mind there to read, of course.
Somewhere in there.
The viewers' competition running, as always, 09009 1010 13 in the UK, 1550 92 35 56 from the Republic of Ireland. A prize for the player, of course, is the watch. Prize for you watching at home, 2 tickets for the big night of the year at Old Trafford on Saturday, October the 13th. And every winner's name this year goes into the draw to win the box at Old Trafford on the big night. We'll ask you to ring with about 20 minutes to go. And don't forget, if you wish to contact us via the internet, our email address is rugbyleague@skysports.com. And while you're on the internet, don't forget to click on to the best website for all the news, views and analysis of the game. It's www.skysports.com. Asking you to do all that again, of course, on Wednesday when Steve-O and I will be with you for Rugby League World. But right now we are here at Bellevue, and it's a real struggle between these two sides for different reasons. Wakefield at the bottom of the table, struggling to get away from the relegation zone. And Hull, well, they are on course for their best finish in Super League, and they would love to finish higher than third.
Hello and welcome. Right, contestants, fingers on buzzers. For 10 points, give me reasons why people are refused a loan. Jeff.
You want to consolidate all your existing debts, you know, credit cards, store cards, into just one manageable monthly repayment.
Consolidate your debts. OK, 10 points. Yes, Mary.
You've got a poor credit history, a county court judgment or bad debts?
You mean a low credit rating?
Yes.
Well done. Colin.
You need to borrow a lot of money, £10,000, £15,000 or more.
Let's see. Yes, well done. OK, now, any more reasons? Yes, John.
If you're not in full-time employment, self-employed, say, or retired.
Self-employed or retired. Well done. Jeff again.
If you need to pay over a longer period, like 10 years or more, you know, keeping your outgoings down to a minimum.
Yes, good. Now there's one more. Pat.
You've already been refused a loan.
Refused elsewhere. That's correct. Well done. Now, for 30 bonus points and to win the game, who can give me a solution for people in these situations?
Ocean Finance?
That is the correct answer. You are our winner. Every month, Ocean Finance helps thousands of people in situations like these. What's more, there are no arrangement fees, no salesperson will call, and the loans can be used for virtually any purpose. So if you're a homeowner and you want to borrow from £3,000 to £50,000, simply call Ocean Finance now. You'll be under no obligation and you could secure the loan you need. Call Ocean Finance now on 0800 858 858. That's 0800 858 858.
Join the DVD revolution. My name is Gladiator. For a limited time only, Columbia TriStar are offering massive savings of their double-disc DVDs, including Gladiator, Snatch, and Men in Black. Hurry down to your local store for these great offers. That's my signal. Unleash hell. DVD, much more than just a movie.
Imagine if information were water. This is what today might look like. Pretty wet.
Got the internet, hundreds of TV channels.
Add some spin doctors and PR gurus. And we've got a flood on our hands.
Who is pulling the strings? What is important these days?
If information were water, we'd be drowning. What's important? Today's Times.
I'm pretty direct. I think my car's great. Running it's expensive. But my insurance, not. And it shouldn't be for you. You can get 70% discount for 5 years, claims free, and an extra 10% off by buying online. Like me, you'll like being direct.
Millions of people like you like being direct. Norwich Union Direct. For a low-cost quote, call 0800 828 829 now.
I wish there was a way of buying this direct.
Let me talk to you about stain removal. Right now, if there is a better way to remove those stubborn tea, coffee and wine stains, then I, for one, would like to know about it.
I'll show you.
Oh, look, there's always one. Go on, mate, you show me.
Take that. Take that. Tedious tannin stain. Take that. Terrible polish.
New Orbit White. Helps knock tooth stains into orbit.
They taste pretty good, too.
If you're hanging out tomorrow, you need to look out for this guy. You'll see him getting down with his crew. Homer, this dude is fat.
Oh, not dead yet.
These guys always on the run, and there'll be some badass cop with no style hanging around. Oh yeah, you're in for a wild ride.
Just got out of jail this morning. Already I've been shot at. I was on the bus that flipped over 17 times. Somebody blew up my Porsche.
Look out for him and his gang tomorrow from 7, Sky 1.
A huge day of international football coming up for you on Saturday. 3 World Cup qualifiers, all live only on Sky Sports. 2 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. The Republic of Ireland take on Holland. On Sky Sports 3, Scotland against Croatia. And at 5:30 on Sky Sports 1, interactive on Sky Sports Extra, it's Germany against England. Blue skies up above here at Bellevue, and Willie Poaching knows that this is a vital 40 minutes for his team. If they could just get some daylight between themselves and Huddersfield after this weekend, things wouldn't be too bad, but it's all building up to a real blockbuster here at Bellevue in a couple of weeks' time when Wakefield take on the Huddersfield Giants, and you can almost safely say that the loser of that one will be relegated.
Okay.
Just 1 point between Wakefield and Huddersfield at the bottom. For Hull, all the talk, of course, is about where they will finish inside the top 5. And as Steve-O said, points difference at the end of the season could be so vital to both clubs. There shouldn't be any easing off in the pressure in this second half. It's been a tight contest so far. Can somebody take hold of this match by the scruff of its neck?
I think patience will be the key that Sean McRae would have been saying to his charges at the break. Ball retention, of course, make sure that they get through their sets of 6. It's quite a handy lead.
Oh, and an injury in the first tackle of the second half to a Wakefield player. It's Dane Dorahy, and we saw Neil Law go off the field right at the start of the first half, and this is deja vu for John Harbin's men.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? First time that they touched the football in the first half. It was Neil Law that had to leave the field, and there's a problem for the fullback Dane Dorahy, that's for sure. And it looks like, sadly, they're calling for the stretcher. So, oh dearie me. So that may be a problem to the leg, I feel. Oh, that is a sad blow. He's had a fine season as the fullback Dane Dorahy.
He's in absolute agony. Let's go downstairs and talk to Bill, first of all about the half-time news, and then maybe he'll be able to shed some light on this injury to Dane Dorahy.
Well, John Harbin out on the touchline at the moment, looking on concernedly, because this has immediately put a spanner in the works as far as his second-half strategy goes. Neil Law, who was on the bench suffering from slight concussion, has gone back on, and ironically, I just spoke to John Harbin literally a few seconds before the second half got underway and said, will Neil Law go back on? He said, only at a push, mate, and already Neil Law's had to go out there, and he's not feeling 100% himself, but certainly Dane Dorahy is in a bad way. But the key word for John Harbin in this second half was commitment, because they're not out of this game by a long shot, and they know that if they can get stuck into Hull early on in this second half, rattle them, then they can ruffle the Hull feathers, ruffle their composure, and pull off a vital win here. And telepathy has always been one of Steve-O's strong suits, and he's shown it again, because patience was the word that Sean McRae used as well, just in his half-time message, that his side have got to keep their composure, got to maintain their concentration and be patient. The chances will come their way. And that's the way Hull are looking at it, but it's not looking good for Dane Dorahy and for Wakefield as the Wildcats full-back is stretched off.
No, that's the worst possible start to the second half for Wakefield. And this is the reason why the tackle on Dorahy. It was a complete accident, though, it must be said.
Oh, yeah, the ankle.
Could be the ankle or the leg there, couldn't it?
Yeah, that's a bad one, sadly.
But the interesting thing is that Neil Law has had to be pressed back into service then, and he will replace Dorahy, who goes off the field here on a stretcher. He'll replace him at full back. Now, the word was that Neil Law was slightly concussed, and John Harbin will not be terribly keen on playing him at full back, with the bombs coming at him, and immediately they've coughed up the possession. Luke Felsh, well, they're totally out of kill to the Wildcats. There's Neil Law, last line of defence. If he's got any slight concussion, with the bombs being thrown up at you and players rushing at you, it's not the best position to be in, full back, but maybe no choice, not now that Dorahy is off. Craven here for Hull.
Well, to be fair, the Wildcats and the club here at Wakefield have gone through the horrors, haven't they? When will something start going right for them? They've battled throughout this year, both on and off the field.
Paul King's the dummy half for Hull. It's Jason Smith. Felsh is the runner on his inside. Gets the ball away. Easy try for Tony Smith. Jason Smith, Tony Smith double act. Try is given. Ryan Hudson complaining. Wakefield unhappy. But the try is awarded by match referee Robert Connolly.
Well, he's a master at this, isn't it? Jason Smith through the dummy. Nothing wrong with that. The ability right on the line. This is the mistake. He was put under a lot of pressure was David March. And the ball ricocheted away. And from that mistake, a bit better angle here. Nothing wrong with it. You see Tony Smith ensure that he was behind the ball carrier Jason, his namesake.
Second try then for Tony Smith.
And how many times has the loose forward Jason Smith created tries for his colleagues this year? Umpteen, I can assure you.
Prescott then to add the extras, which he does with aplomb. 22 points to 8. Hull suddenly take a stranglehold on the match.
Well, from the injury, it was a mislaid pass. And unfortunately, the Wildcats, the claws went missing. Let's take nothing away from the skills of this fella. In and out, sucked in the defence. Nothing wrong with the pass whatsoever. The experience of Tony Smith. He hung back. Make sure that he didn't take the step forward, which may have confused the official Robert Connolly, but he was in a good position. It's a vital time now for Wakefield to... They have to rally round, try to stop the floodgates.
It's a high hanging kickoff from Martin Pearson. Underneath it was Cook, and here now is Luke Felsh. Well, the worst possible start to the second half for Wakefield. This is Paul King.
Did some neat stuff from the dummy half position as a hooker, Paul King. He's been ably assisted, though, by some poor marking, poor work from the Wakefield 1 and 2 markers. Been caught out several times throughout this game. That's a poor kick.
And Neil Law gets first touch this second half. Steve Craven finishing the job off.
Stop looking for it, mate.
Brooker, Sovatabua. Jason Smith in first, and Steve Craven as well.
It's times like this where Willie Poaching has to roll up the sleeves, be a little bit more adventurous, try a few things.
Well, Pearson through the dummy to Poaching, he's through the gap, he's got support out here, and Prescott gets to him. He would have been better served maybe to flick the ball wide to Westwood.
To be fair, it was good work from the winger, Craig Poucher. He made sure that he couldn't get the ball away.
It's now with Davis, and the kick out wide. He's looking for Sovatabua again. He's claimed it, and Sovatabua's going to score. Well, he's head and shoulders above Gareth Rayner. Referee hasn't given it yet. He just wants to check whether the Fijian winger, Wasile Sovatabua, was actually onside.
Well, it deserved a try, didn't it? The break from Pearson initially. And then the kick from Davis. Oh, I think he's all right. I think he's okay there. But you can see there that Rayner in not the best position. He could not see where Sova was coming from. Yeah, he's a... Ooh, I don't know. I've seen that. Oh, that could be a bit dodgy. We'll go frame by frame here. This is the old slide rule thing. He's about 2 meters.
Oh.
Yeah, he's about a meter in front. Well, I think this could be in NOTRY yet again.
Well, let's see. Big call. Tries given.
Well,
No
maybe something is going right for them now.
It was pretty tight, that one. But the video referee, Jim Smith, giving Wakefield benefit of the doubt. He was convinced that Sova was onside.
Well, they were denied a try because of Sova through. This is the break from the standoff, Martin Pearson. And as I said, the reason why Pearson couldn't offload, because it was good work from Poucher. Initially got himself in between there. But they did well to keep this ball alive. Excellent play. It was Campbell that got the ball away, and then Davis with a kick. And you can see that Rayner in all sorts of problems. And Sova came and pinched it from the blind side. Good work. Fully deserved.
Sova there, proving and showing why he is Wakefield's leading try scorer. He's the ever-present for Wakefield this year. I say the because he's the only one in the Wakefield colours not to have missed a match. Pearson to add 2 more points, which he does. It was 16-8 at half-time. It's 22-14 now.
And a glimmer of hope for the Wildcats. They've been dogged by injury.
Well, desperation is the key for them.
And they did ever so well to keep this ball alive. Pinpoint kick from Davis.
Good kicker, isn't he?
Yeah, but he snuck in on the blind side. Tried that a few times. Hasn't come off until now. And the big fellow will have enjoyed that, and rightly so. Wakefield back in this game.
Great line, bring it back.
Kick-off is deep. And here comes Wakefield again. Bill's got some more news of the injuries.
Well, it's Dane Dorahy, and it's as bad as expected. What the Wakefield Wildcats doctor describes as a fractured dislocation of the ankle. It's going to mean surgery. It's going to mean the end of Dane Dorahy's season, and that really is sad news for him because he'd fought his way back, having had a knee reconstruction. But Dorahy will now be out for another long spell.
Oh, that's terrible news. And Wakefield battle on. It doesn't get any easier for them. This is Justin Brooker. They've got a bit of a spring in their heels, though, now, after that Sova try. And Davis gives it width to Pearson. Here's poaching again. He's broken the line. And it was Cook with a despairing tackle to hold him down. Now then, that was Ellis at dummy half. There's the kick out wide again, looking for Sova once more. Rayner this time climbs, though. Actually, Wakefield could have been penalised because Rayner was certainly in the air with Wakefield arms and around his legs.
I think it was more accidental, though. But what a great jump. Yeah, it looks as though Brooker was going to have a go and then realised that he would have been penalised. But another great kick there from Davis. Kicking game has been superb.
Steve Craven here for Hull. 40th consecutive appearance. New 2-year deal as well for Hull's Craven. Jason Smith, beautiful ball to Felch. And Felch has got Tony Smith on his inside. There are men out wide, though, but that was good. Chasing back by Sova he's lost it.
Was it reefed out, or did he just lose it?
Knocked on.
Knocked on. Well, all that good work came undone. Felch made a beautiful run.
Did get a call
oh,
from the touches.
Yes, it looked to me as though Neil Law had handed that. And Felch not happy with it, and every right to be looking with some consternation at Robert Connolly.
To be fair, though, the referee didn't have a chance of seeing that, did he?
Well, yeah, but by the same token, he knows that he's got 2 assistants there, and they certainly didn't come to it. Well, that's the first one that I've seen.
Davis scampering away the penalty given at the scrum. Offside, I think they had come out. They did a hole, didn't they?
That's what I'm saying. I said I hadn't seen one this year.
You've seen one now.
been implicated, haven't they? I can rest easy.
Here's Keith Mason now for the Wildcats. They won't turn this in, don't worry about that. And Hull have got a solid half hour ahead of them.
They've got great spirit here, don't worry about it.
Here's Pearson, here's Poaching. Ellis is wide of him, he's taken on Jason Smith. Pearson to O'Neill again. O'Neill trundles it forwards. That's the last.
And surely Davis will utilise the kick towards Gareth Rayner.
Well, there's Davis. It's the pass this time, it's a mile forward.
Well, it certainly looked it.
They keep the movement going with Hudson. It's flicked back inside. Hull have got it back, but...
well, it looked like Brooker was going to end there. And that's back to 6. There was also fingertips from one of the Wakefield players. Well, it looked like Davis was shaping for the kick, and then, well, maybe the momentum rule into play. Good camera work.
From this angle, it looked as though it was a mile forward.
40-20. Will it dip? No, it won't. But it's a good kick. It'll bobble around.
And Ben Westwood has to run it back, and he evades the first challenge.
Oh, he's in touch.
He is.
That is a sin.
Great chase from Logan Campbell.
Well, he beat the first attempt, but Logan Campbell wrapped him up. And Westwood knew that the whitewash was beckoning.
Should have come inside.
And that is a mistake. He really should have stepped. Plenty of space, and then he released it. But according to the flag waiver, did well to avoid the first one. But now his foot just hit the whitewash. There you see the prop forward.
Luke Felsh broke before the ball was out of the scrum.
Okay.
That scrum was tidy enough. This is the possession for Hull, and it's with Prescott again. Prescott with Solitaire and Brooker around him.
So I haven't seen one for the offside, the 3/4 behind the loose forward's feet.
Maiden does well. Jason Smith, they're attacking down the left-hand side
they've
again.
Got the numbers.
It's Richard Horn. Horn gets over.
Yep. They had the numbers out wide.
I agree with you.
Try is given. Richard Horn with a try. 4 tries in his last 5 before this match, in absolutely tip-top form. Running into the playoffs is 19-year-old Richard Horn again.
Well, the mistake from Westwood, he went into touch, it allowed Hull the possession, and yet again the offload. This time from David Maiden, and Horn made short of this. Good work. They brought it back again. Tremendous stuff from Maiden to offload there. And once they had the numbers, it was just a matter of who was going to. And it was this fella, Horn. Did well then. Oh, now there was a bit of a fumble. That'll be interesting.
Well, it's already been awarded, so they can't turn the clock back, but there is a doubt about that one. It's the 5th Hull try. 5-3 now.
Well, was it my eyes deceiving me, Eduardo? But they just appeared to be a bit of a fumble, didn't they?
A little bobble. Looked as though he'd lost possession for a second or two.
The bank holiday bobble. I'll remember that one. I must say you're in fine spirits today.
Well, I just thought it's 5-3 in tries at 10-2. Prescott with the kick again, and he's missed another. 26-14 though. 2 converted tries, but a little question mark about this.
There sure was. Either way, we'll get another glimpse at it through the dummy well.
Now this is the crucial moment.
Yep, he knows he's going. Oh, he lost that. I think he lost it. Oh, and the Wakefield fans here, for once, agree with me.
And Robert Kennedy did not go to the screen for that one. Took the nod of his touch judge. Interesting.
Very. Well, the Wildcats nearly got themselves, they clawed their way back into this game and always lost that, or is it pulled away?
Pinched, I think. No,
knock on.
Knock on. Broadbent's furious.
Well, you'd hardly get up with a grin on his face, Eddie. Jackson, who's now out there, offers the ball. Oh, definitely.
Oh, they missed that.
Well, Davis has whipped it away. Look at this. He whipped, I mean, you couldn't get any quicker with a wrist on a yo-yo.
Well, I don't know how they missed things like that, but they do.
They're only human.
As opposed to us.
Oh, we make plenty of mistakes, don't worry about that. Well, I do anyway.
I'm not,
at least I'll admit to it.
I'm not taking anything away from you. March. David March. Oh,
well, good work.
He's away again, but then forced back by Grimaldi. Oh, flicking out with the feet there. Here's Davis.
There.
He did. Here's poaching. Back on the inside to Pearson.
Oh. Great tackle from Broadbent.
They're so close. He's looking to pinch another. That's good defence. And that was the last.
Power play, not coming off.
Worth the gamble.
Well, they have to with a scoreline like that. That's it. Oh, yeah. Well, to be fair to the hooker, he was trying desperately to get on with the game. Things like that do occur.
It's another battling performance from Wakefield and a real battle here for Hull. And that ball from Lee Jackson on the bounce to Broadbent. Jackson dummy half. Jason Smith with a big hoof downfield, but no chance that was going to be a 40-20. Neil Law picks it up. Calls young Ben Westwood back on his inside and then takes the tackle.
Did the right thing there, did Law. Making sure he kept hold of the ball. It's the one thing that Wakefield are desperate for, so they can apply some sort of pressure. Make sure they get through their sets of 6. And a good kick and chase, but as I say, the ploy that they utilised in that first half, it only came off once, and that was when Logan Campbell coughed up the football.
Here's Pearson, that's a good ball to poaching, and he's turned Grimaldi inside out. Campbell tried to get in the tackle, but the pass was flicked out, and Craig Poucher was the right man in the right place at the right time for Hull.
Well, that's the second time that the winger has come to the rescue of the Boulevard team. Good positioning there. We did the right thing when Martin Pearson, a few moments ago, made that wonderful break. Couldn't offload. Well, that's a neat little kick, and I'm not so sure that it was intended that way.
And it's fly hack forward by Tony Smith. Neil Law has picked it up and gets the tackle from Rayner. Here goes Sovatabua. Now Pearson. And wide it comes again. This is Neil Law, this is Ellis.
Not many opportunities for the tall, lanky centre Ellis. Scorer of that first try that got the Wildcats off to, well, a great start. Oh, that's a bad mistake. Oh, he's going for offside.
I think he's got him for...
Oh, deliberate knock down. Man offside then.
I thought he'd got him for 2 men in the tackle and flicking at it.
Yeah, it came off Maiden and then Horn was in front.
Offside. Yeah,
well spotted by the official. There it is. Maiden gets a hand to it and stood in front.
Davis goes wide again. Tony Smith had to be big in defence there. And
still plenty of time in this game for Wakefield to claw their way back.
And that's Paul Jackson on to lend his weight to proceedings. Pearson again. Good defence, and Westwood was nearly in, and they're having another go here.
Good work from Cook, ball and all tackle.
Pearson trying to burrow his way over. March, poaching, a dab to the in-goal area. And it was so close there, and Prescott, I thought for a moment that they tidied that up before the try line, but then it snuck its way through on the bounce.
Well, they made a real meal of it, didn't they? You have it, I'll have it. And then Prescott said, well, I think I'd better get rid of it. And that's good pressure, good technical kicking. which is one thing that I'm sure John Harvey, the Wakefield coach, will be extremely pleased about. He knows they've gone through the wars today. Bad injury, of course, to the fullback Dane Corrie.
That's a terrific dropout. And that's a brave little run from Law. Looking for the penalty, not coming. Here's O'Neill again for Wakefield.
Wasn't a bad chase either, but you just get the impression now that we're going into the last quarter that this hot weather is certainly starting to take its toll, but they're giving the ball plenty of air, both sides.
Westwood tackled by Logan. Wakefield, give them credit, they're really trying to keep this ball alive. And there goes Jackson again. Marches the dummy half. It's Davis who's involved in everything. Oh, great ball to Hudson. He's in. Ryan Hudson, second try. Second try for Ryan Hudson. A cutout pass. And the Hull defence was nowhere to be seen.
Well, he delayed that pass to absolute perfection. It doesn't come much better than this. How's this for creating the gap? Oh, look at that. Maiden drifted in on the angle. Just had a little bit of a look to go towards Davis. And the offload was superb. Well, he's had a big game, Ryan Hudson. So has Davis in his kicking department, but it's a beautiful pass there. You can see how Maiden just drifted in. It's sufficient for the loose forward. And he enjoys that, and rightly so. Game on.
Indeed so. There's a lot of talent down here at the Bellevue, and Ryan Hudson is one of the leading figures. 2 tries against Hull here in May, 2 tries here now against Hull this bank holiday Monday afternoon. And Pearson, with this kick, can put Wakefield to within a converted try of the Hull side. Oh, and he sliced it wide. Oh, not the right time to come up with a kick like that, Martin Pearson. 26-18.
Well, Maiden drifts in, and the Sydney Harbour heads opens. And Hudson. This is a superb pass. Ready perfectly, did Hudson. Woo! Like Captain Cook many years ago. Through those heads, through the gap.
Hudson with the try, and Pearson with the miscued conversion. Just 1 from 4 for Martin Pearson today. And a goal kicker of such supreme quality during the course of his career.
And that could prove costly in the end.
Something like overall, from start to finish in his career, about 800 goals, we reckon. But not too clever with the boot today. But Wakefield looking to score more tries. Poaching. He's away from them.
Well, they're looking more confident. And
still going poaching. What a great run.
They are falling off the tackles. Well, I made the point just after the restart that the skipper, Willie Poaching, had to start doing things a little bit different. Get away from this one-out forward play that they had in the first half, and they're doing that. They're giving it plenty of air.
And here's Hudson. It goes back to Sovatabua, who skipped away from the flying challenge that came in on him from Craven. Couldn't get away from Richard Horn, though. And there's Davis again, who's kicked Hull to death. And it's a high hanging kick, well claimed by Poucher. And he had pressure on him from Gareth Ellis.
Did the right thing, he jumped at the right time, though. Copybook, he would have needed to bring his arms a little bit higher, bring it back down. Got away with it.
Dogged display here from the Wildcats. 17 minutes to go. They're only 8 points behind. And who's your man of the match? 09009 1010 13. If you're in the Republic of Ireland and watching this, it's 1550 92 35 56. Lines are open now. If you agree with Mr. Stevenson, you can win yourselves a couple of tickets to the grand final. Ryan Hudson.
Well, that's good refereeing by Robert Connolly.
Got a heavy bang then, didn't he,
yeah.
Hudson?
He knew that big collision there. A tough hombre. Not all together there at the moment, but the sunshine will help him. It
won't help Paul Broadbent. He's not a lover of the heat wave, isn't the whole prop forward.
There's not many forwards already.
Here's one who doesn't mind what sort of weather it is. Jason Smith, that's a high kick. He's a test for Neil Law. Oh, and a big clatter from Steve Prescott. Well, if he was concussed earlier.
Courageous, that. No other word for it. His body well and truly on the line.
Stay.
And he wouldn't be 100%.
Stop grabbing his leg.
That's a blow Willie Poaching off. Jamie Field returns. That can only surely be tiredness, or maybe an injury.
Well, I think it'll undoubtedly have to be an injury, Eddie. I mean, he was starting to control things out there. Starting to run a little bit wide of the ruck.
Little dab over the top by Brad Davis, but swept up by Lee Jackson. They'd be glad to see him back on Humberside. Jackson.
Well, he plays the sweeping role ever so well, does Jackson. Been around long enough to know. And a good option by Brad Davis. He's had a fine game, as Eddie has mentioned, especially with a boot.
That's with Paul Cook. Here is Logan Campbell. Inside one man, flicks it away. Poucher. But Poucher is pouched by his opposite number, Westwood.
Well, I reckon Hull should be looking for this one-pointer now. Go towards the sticks, get themselves set up.
Well, they're in front of the post now.
I'll go for Jason Smith to have a go at it.
Or Tony Smith. There's Tony Smith. No, they're running it.
Well spotted.
It was a brick wall, wasn't it?
Right,
Field and Hudson, brick wall.
He said, come on, Prescott, come to me.
And Jason Smith looked to be shaping for the one-pointer. Hoists the ball out wide instead. It bounces twice, goes backwards. That was touched. He's offside.
Got to be offside. Well, it took an eternity there, Robert Connolly, to get the whistle to his mouth, but there was little doubt in my mind that he was offside. And you see Law definitely touches it, even though it came off. And then when it came off again, he had another go at it. Did Ben Westwood.
Gareth Ellis picked up in an offside position.
We're going for.
And they're not going for two. They're going to run it and try and get the four with Broadbent.
Well, not a bad option. They're in charge. They've got the points on the board already. And if they get close, surely they'll go for the oneer.
Jason Smith. Oh, he's waltzed through them. Jason Smith with the try. Got a bit of a bang on the hip for his pains. Oh, and he's not given it yet. Wants to check the grounding of the football by Jason Smith.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm sure he knows he scored it. And you'll see here that he's got control. The forearm is on the ball at all time, I feel. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Or is it? Well, the forearm's there, whether he's in control of it. Oh, dear me.
Well,
Wakefield, a few dodgy ones, isn't there?
Wakefield's players, as we watch this.
Well, the forearm is connected to the ball at all time, I feel. And, well, I'd give that as a TRY, but these days I don't have much confidence with the video people. No offence personally, it's just that they've been getting them wrong.
Well, if
you have a go this time.
Well, if we were saying before that the Richard Horne one might have been disallowed, this one could be. So I'll go no try. Hey, I know a bit. Just a little bobble, and he's not terribly impressed, is he?
No.
Well, he got away with one with the Richard Horne try that they never went for. And
scales of justice have levelled out. I've put my back out by bending down and bowing to my superior person at the side of me.
So Wakefield, is that the moment that they maybe get out of jail? We shall see. It has spurred them to launch another attack. Here they come with Westwood. Bounces away from Jason Smith, not away from the next two, Craven and Campbell. Pearson. Rauter.
Oh, that's going to be full.
Oh, he's given that.
Well, the crowd don't like it.
He's given that.
Yeah, it's a forward pass, and it's
Brooker
no
thinks he scored. Brooker thinks he scored. He still doesn't realise. Now he has.
Yeah, Davis was a little bit too late to go forward.
2 yard forwards.
The momentum rule can come into play, as it often does, but there's little doubt that that was forward. Looks a bit concerned, but a fine match from this fella.
Okay. Hull then with possession from the scrum, and here is Cook, fed by Horn. Neil Law with the tackle. Horn, dummy half. Campbell. Lee Jackson waiting at dummy half and gives it inside to Craven.
Well, surely the message will have gone out from Sean McRae. Give me that 1 point, give me a little bit of breathing space.
Grimaldi, good hands from Hull. This is Jackson.
Well, Jason Smith has controlled things out there for Hull. He's been standing supreme.
Finds Grimaldi. But good tackle in the end from Frank Watine. Now then, Cook, a stab through to the in-goal area, too deep.
Well, it amazes me that it's a second occasion that they haven't even bothered to set up for the one-pointer. Now, we've seen in the latter part of this season how important that can be. I mean, Deacon's 3.
They do have a buffer zone, to be fair, though. It's 8 points.
Yeah, but another nail in the coffin certainly helps.
If it was 6, I'm sure they'd go for 7. If it was 12, they might go for a 13-point margin. But, well, 8 and 9. Oh, here we go. Hudson, hauled down by Jackson. Important tackle.
He's another player that's been outstanding today, isn't he? Ryan Hudson.
So is Davis. He gets the ball away to Jackson. Well, we've got news of Willie poaching from Bill.
Eddie, if the Wildcats are to pull off a great fight back here, they're going to have to do it without Willie poaching. He's been struggling with a calf injury since early on in the first half, in actual fact. It's tightened up and they really can't force him to go on any longer.
Solotabur with a strong run. Wakefield, guts and determination on show for all to see here. And Pearson with a dab over the top. Poucher claims that.
He's done his job well, hasn't he, the winger, Poucher? He put under a lot of pressure. It surprised me that Wakefield have gone for Poucher's wing. For long periods, they peppered the left-hand side towards Gareth Rayner. He brought them fruit early.
Well, it's only
Solotabur scoring that try.
That's right, but it's only Poucher's second game of the season. Maybe they think he's a little raw.
Will that look forward?
What are your phone numbers for your man of the match votes?
It certainly looked to touch forward.
And a big hoof downfield to clear Hull's lines. Good kick also it was from Paul Cook. I must say Cook possesses one of the best kicking games in Super League. And he can give it a real thump.
Well, it's a great advantage to any side, isn't it, when you can put it downfield 70 metres at a time. And the kick and chase again was good. That'll please Sean McRae.
Here's Davis again. Still manages to get the pass away. Pearson claiming it was touched by a Hull man. Forward pass.
And all of a sudden the touch judges have decided to get on the ball. I'm not so sure there was anything wrong with that. Maybe an inch or so. Missed so many in the first half.
26-18 Hull. It's no good at all to Wakefield, this. It will mean it's very, very tense at the bottom of the table. And I bet everyone who is a Huddersfield Giants fan will be on their knees praying it stays like this, as Craven and Broadbent take a breather. They are replaced for the last 8.5 minutes or so. Now, can Hull just put this Wildcats team to bed? Cook is away. He brushed away from Pearson. He's got Rayner outside him, and Rayner scores. That could be the victory that Hull have been looking for. Rayner with the try, but it was created by a lovely run from Cook. Just pushed Pearson away, and well, it doesn't get any easier for John Harbin and Wakefield. 7 new faces in at the start of the season, 14 out. Wakefield, it looks like it will go right the way down to the wire as far as them and Huddersfield is concerned for the drop out of Super League.
Well, it was a controversial forward pass that allowed Hull the possession. Good work, though, from Cook. Simple run around, second receive. Look how it just brushes Pearson away. Did the right thing as well. Pearson went far too high, and he knew that the flying winger was out there, and he waited just at the right moment when Pearson dipped the head to go for the tackle. Simple run around. Pearson will rue the fact he went high on such a big man. Offload superb. Finish equal of the pass. And I think, yes, this should just see them in from the boulevard. Home and hose for the 2 points.
Prescott with the conversion, and he's missed it. 30 points to 18. It's 2 converted tries now.
Well, it's amazing how a decision from the touch judge or any of the officials come to it that can turn the game. And Rayner, the try scorer, will be happy with that.
They're calling him the new Jason Robinson, and I must say he looks like Jason Robinson, doesn't he? He's very familiar, very similar. And Prescott there gets the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I think he's got a long way to go before he can match old Twinkle Toes.
Absolutely, but if you watch Rayner, his running style is similar. Yep. He's a similar build.
And he's got the shuffle, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Well, make your own mind up. But he is. Oh, Phelps has dropped that.
Into the first knock on. Well, they won't give in on Wakefield. That is the one thing that you must admire about their coach, John Harwood. He has really changed this club around. I'm not saying that he's done it all on his own, but at one point, I think he was sweeping out the dressing rooms and virtually running the club.
Interesting, you know, when you think about Wakefield's plight and Hull's part in that. Next weekend, guess where Hull are? They're at Huddersfield. So Hull can have a big say in who goes down this year. And Solotabua, that pass was knocked forward by the Hull man, by Jason Smith.
Wait for the ball. That's how I saw it. Heads in. Heads in.
Well, 4.5 minutes to go. The handling errors, the missed tackles, that's the telling factor for both sides, really. Oh, they did well then.
Did he ever?
Brooker.
Gareth Ellis never had control of that.
Westwood hardly had control of that before he was clattered. And he hasn't got control of it now. The referee has ruled a knock on.
Lost the ball in the tackle.
Oh.
Lost the ball. Yes,
he was a bit bemused. And,
lost the ball in the tackle.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, just slightly.
Paul King.
Great eyes.
Paul King with the tackle. Heavy tackle too. 4 minutes to go then. 12 points. Hull, I think, going to win this. Wakefield going to be in trouble at the bottom.
They have had to fight very hard. It's been a spirited display from Wakefield, especially with the fact that they've had 2 key players off. Well, that'll be the knock-on. It's hot out there, and mistakes are coming fast and furiously now.
Well, it's a match that I'm afraid has not been high on quality, has it?
No.
But
there has been some high spots.
Maybe a lot of tension.
Davis has played well. Jason Smith also. Paul King has done some neat stuff. And Ryan Hudson has been a real star for Wakefield today.
And here's Frank Watine. And here come Wakefield again with March. Logan gets the tackle in. And of course, that's a penalty.
He should be in the sin bin for that.
Taking a quick tap. Taking a quick tap. Back it goes here to Jackson. That's Paul Jackson of Wakefield. David March's dummy half. Well, Wakefield are ending with a flourish here. Nearly through Jamie Field. Pearson.
That was a great tackle from Jamie Field, the second rower.
March to Davis, the kick out wide. Savatabua's not there this time. But they're in just the same. Neil Law.
He said he should knock on.
Has he said a knock on?
Yeah. Well, that's a shame.
How was that?
He definitely got it down.
When he batted it down, I thought it went forward.
Brooker batted it down and he thought it went forward. Well, it went backwards. Well, this should have been a try.
The call before the try.
Well, can he not go to the video referee for that?
Well, he can, but he isn't. He's already given the knock on. Well, that's ridiculous. He's bemused and he's pointing to the screen. It's a bit too late, fellas.
The knock on the forward pass.
Richard Horne's getting the ball in.
The knock on before the try.
Knock on forward pass. Well, he can't go for a forward pass to the screen. Fair play. But his original thought was knock on.
Well, I heard him say it was a knock on.
Well, here it is.
Nothing wrong with it.
Well, at that angle, though, that's the reason why they can't go. At that angle, it looked dubious. It did. Don't look at me like that.
You've gone from my friend to my enemy all of a sudden.
It's just when the eyebrows
Well,
raise.
it's the sun that's getting to you.
Ryan Hudson goes off.
If that wasn't a try, right, then I'll start wearing a wig tomorrow.
Okay, we better go and nip in on the way home to the shop.
Okay, for one, roll away. Nice and easy.
Well, I'll tell you what, it won't be anywhere that resembles the one that you used. Sorry, I really shouldn't have said that, should I?
You shouldn't really, no.
It is a good one, I must say. It's the best I've ever seen.
30 seconds to go. Gareth Rayner for Hull.
3! Easy go. Come on, Martin. Well done.
Hull are ending the match with ball in hand. Paul King gets to his feet at about 15 seconds away. Luke Felsh. Grounded, that's the last. They're counting down, the Hull fans. Tony Smith goes for a 40-20. He's not going to find it, but if the ball runs dead, that will be the match. And I think that's the game, and Hull have won. It doesn't get any easier if your name is John Harbin. But for Tony Grimaldi, the captain of Hull, they have gained another 2 points in their quest for a place in the top 3. Savatabua'a has run strongly all afternoon. Good contest between Rayner and Savatabua'a. But Wakefield have lost again. Hull have won. It's Wakefield Trinity Wildcats 18, Hull 30. Now then, still to come today at 3 o'clock, there's a soccer special to keep you up to date with all the latest football scores from around the country. And also in that programme, live coverage of the conference match between Stevenage and Doncaster. At 7 o'clock, we've live Premiership football from the Reebok Stadium as Bolton take on Liverpool. And on Sky Sports 2 from 4 o'clock, there's live and interactive tennis from the US Open. And don't forget, the date of the Super League Grand Final, all roads lead to Old Trafford on October the 13th. We are high, high above this stadium, and the noise is deafening. Well, the grand final, and it's very much in the sights of the Hull team. They now go third in the table, courtesy of this 30 points to 18 victory over the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Ryan Hudson, with 2 tries, though, has got Steve-O's vote as man of the match. He takes the Tissot watch and some consolation. Here he is talking to Bill.
Ryan, congratulations, man of the match. I know you're not feeling too clever because you got that bang on the head, but there you go, there's your Tissot watch. You must feel that's a game you've let slip, really.
Yeah, you know, we dug in deep. and just, you know, little errors really that, you know, that caused the game. But, you know, we're Wakefield Trinity and we don't stop. You know, we go all till the end.
I'm sure you will. Thanks, Ryan. Well done.
Cheers, mate, thanks. Cheers. Well done.
Yes, they'll go on to the end, and Philip de Graat of Workington. Well, you've got a long trip down to Manchester for the grand final, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's on October the 13th. You can make your travel plans now. Well done, Philip, and well done to Ryan Hudson as well for the man of the match performance. Gutsy display from Wakefield, but unfortunately for them, they stay at the wrong end of the table, just 1 point ahead of Huddersfield. And Steve-O, it's bubbling up to that showdown here at Bellevue in a fortnight when the Giants are in town. And I just wonder how both sets of supporters, both sets of players, the two coaches will cope with all that.
Yeah, well, they will not sleep easily. I mean, John Harbin tonight will probably look through all the videos and say that a few things went their way and went against them as well. A few decisions that went against them. A forward pass that actually gave Hull that final try that really sealed the game. It was one of those matches where both sides desperate for points. It showed that. It took them a long time to get into the swing of things. It was one-out football and down to the kick and chase. Conditions didn't help. It was extremely warm out there. But I think all in all, a professional performance. That's about the best I can say about this Hull side. There wasn't any real stars on their side. OK, Smith certainly controlled things in the forwards, but really they'll have to improve. And I mean that, even though they're in third position, I do feel that Hull will have to improve, especially in their defensive pattern.
Well, let's just confirm exactly where this result leaves us at the end of round 25. Bradford top, 2 points clear of Wigan, who are 3 points clear of Hull, 2 points clear of Saints, and Rhinos in 5th place. That will be the 5. What combination, where they finish, we'll find out. Wakefield and Huddersfield down at the bottom, just 1 point between the two. It's a race top and bottom now.
It certainly is, and who said that the top 5 wouldn't be interesting, and who said that the battle for relegation wouldn't be interesting, as Eddie says. What a battle that would be. Wakefield here against Huddersfield in a few weeks' time.
Yes, that's a couple of weeks away, but all that's in the future. What have we got coming up for you here on Sky Sports? Well, a match that should be high on quality on Friday, 7:30 Sky Sports 1 for Wigan against Bradford. Some great games between those two in the recent past. And from the NRL in Australia on Sunday morning at 10, Sky Sports 3, the Roosters and the Eels. Hope you enjoy the rest of your bank holiday with us here on Sky Sports. Thanks for being with us. Glorious day. Enjoy it. Bye-bye. Support on his inside, and this is Scott Logan, and Scott Logan has got the pace, and Scott Logan equalises for Hull. This is Ryan Hudson. Ryan Hudson looks for support, doesn't need any. Logan Campbell, Steve Prescott, try. He's in. Ryan Hudson, second try. Cook is away.
Join the DVD revolution.
My name is Gladiator.
For a limited time only, Columbia TriStar are offering massive savings off their double-disc DVDs, including Gladiator, Snatch, and Men in Black. Hurry down to your local store for these great offers.
That's my signal. Unleash hell.
DVD, much more than just a movie.
Imagine if information were water.